Plugging in while the lights hang low. Velvet shadows on the marble floor. See the motion in a steady glide. Nothing left for you to seek or hide. Pressurizing in the static air. Found a reason just to linger there. Keep the sequence on a heavy loop. Moving lonely through the golden groove. Heavy metal in a speaker cone. Built a kingdom on a shifting throne. Fingertips against a cooling glass. Watching every second turn a pass. No one talking about the signal speaks. Higher summits for the bold and weak. Wrap the silence in a darker hue. Wait for something that feels entirely new. Deep descent into the center of flame. Write the story with a nameless name. Heavy pulses in the hollow chest. Give the weary heart a place to rest. Slow vibration in the liquid ground. Lost the feeling, but the pulse is found. Underneath the heavy weight of grace. Find a mirror in the vacant space. Carbon copies in a tailored line. Turning water into vintage wine. Every gesture is a quiet test. Put the logic to a final rest. Silk and leather in a tight embrace. Tracing lines across a hidden face. Keep the vision on a narrow beam. Living inside of a waking dream. Cut the wires underneath the skin. To me exactly where the truths begin. Feel the sunlight through a tinted pane. Watch the memory of the steady rain. Gravity is just a state of mind. Leave the bitter all so far behind. Focus steady on the moving part. Map the rhythm of a steady heart. Step into the center of the floor. Unlock every single bolted door. Steady breathing in a crowded room. Watch the flower of the evening bloom. Heavy lifting for the weary soul. Take the pieces and become a whole. Deep descent into the center of flame. Write the story with a nameless name. Heavy pulses in a hollow chest. Give the weary heart a place to rest. Slow vibration in the liquid ground. Lost the feeling, but the pulse is found. Underneath the heavy weight of grace. Find a mirror in the vacant space.
Heavy metal in the bottom of the glass. Watching every single second of the flash. I see the motion in your body when you move. Got 100 reasons just to feel the groove. Stowing through the static in the haze. We've been locked inside this panoramic phase. Keep it locked until the morning hits the floor. Give me something that I never had before.
Got the frequency vibrating in my chest. Put the hesitation finally to rest. I'm on a level that you never even reached. Breaking every single lesson that they preach. Concrete jungle burning underneath my feet. Feel the friction turning up the desert heat. I ain't looking for a savior in the dark. Just a master light, a revolutionary spark.
Yeah, you hit the thunder crashing in the street. Every heart is skipping to the heavy beat. Take it higher till we're touching on the sun. Moving like the night has only just begun.
Yeah, the energy is coursing through the frame. I can see the world is never gonna be the same. Let it ride until the walls begin to shake. Giving everything with nothing left to take. Can you hear the thunder crashing in the street? Every heart is skipping to a heavy beat. Take it higher till we're touching on the sun. Moving like the night has only just begun. Yeah, the energy is pulsing through the frame. I can see the world is never gonna be the same. Let it ride until the walls begin to shake. Giving everything with nothing left to take. Midnight sapphire dripping on the dash. Counting up the paper and the sudden cash. You got the vision and I got the master plan. Catch the lightning in the center of your hand. No more waiting for the season to revolve. This is every single riddle that we solve. Step inside the circle where the pressure grows. Everything is golden with a liquid flow. Can you hear the thunder crashing in the street? Every heart is skipping to the heavy beat. Take it higher too, we're touching on the sun. Moving like the night has only just begun. Getting energy is pulsing through the frame. I can see the world will never gonna be the same. Let it ride until the walls begin to shake her. Giving everything with nothing left to take her. Can you hear the thunder crashing in the street? Every heart is skipping to the heavy beat. Take it higher too, we're touching on the sun. Moving like the night has only just begun. Getting energy is pulsing through the frame. I can see the world is never gonna be the same. Let it ride until the walls begin to shake her. Giving everything with nothing left to take her. Oh.
The sheets are colder than they were at 3. I'm tracing outlines where you used to be. Just a hollow space inside this frame. I'm still refusing to invoke your name. Heavy pulses move against the floor. I start counting shadows by the door. Your absence has a physical weight, a gravity that arrived too late. The silence is a fabric I can't wear. Static floating in the midnight air. I'm sinking through the layers of the dark, looking for a single faded spark. This is the resonance of letting go, a frequency that only we will know. Deep enough to pull the tide away, blurring every shade of blue. Nothing left but tension in the bone. Learning how to breathe inside the zone. Stripped down to the marrow and the nerve. Getting exactly what we both deserve. Lower register beneath the skin. Waiting for the numbers to begin. I haven't moved an inch since you left. Counting every heartbeat like a death. The walls are closing in to hold me tight, filtering the fragments of the light. There is no melody to fix the break, only the pressure of this delay. The silence is a fabric I can't wear. Static floating in the midnight air. I'm sinking through the layers of the dark, looking for a single faded spark. This is the resonance of letting go, a frequent key that only we would know. Deep enough to pull the tide away, blurring every shade of blue and gray. Nothing left but tension in the bone. Learning how to breathe inside the zone. Stripped down to the marrow and the nerve. Getting exactly what we both deserve.
On a hardwood floor, tracing shadows by the open door. Coffee steam is rising in the air. Sunlight playing in your messy hair. Every motion has a secret sway. In this perfect start to Saturday, feel the dogs beneath the wooden beams. Life is waking from its quiet dreams. Jazzy shits inside a hollow shell. ringing clear just like a silver bell. Find a pocket where the pressure stops, slowing down before the tension drops. Fingers snaps against a steady beat, walking barefoot down a quiet street. Colors blending in a dusty hue, all the spectrum leading back to you, yeah. Moving through the nectar and the gold, something fresh within the very old. Catch a swing inside the heavy breeze, bending branches of the willow trees. Got a friction making fire now, show the heavy spirits exactly how. Keep it fluid like a moving stream, living out a wide awake daydream. Within the very old, catch a swing inside the heavy breeze, bending branches of the willow trees. Got a friction making fire now, show the heavy spirits exactly how. Keep it fluid like a moving stream, living out a wide awake daydream. Bass I'm thumping like a second heart. Watch the finish before we even start. Rich progressions in a minor key, unlocking doors without a metal key. Organic fibers in the way we talk, drawing in circles with a piece of chalk. No more static on the radio, just the places that we ought to go. Yeah. Contemporaries holding every bone, building towers out of heavy stone. But we keep it like summer rain, washing off the residue of pain. Smooth transitions in the middle ground, lost inside the luxury of sound. Keep the engine hum along the tracks, relax the burden off our tired backs. Moving through the nectar and the gold, something fresh within the very whole. Catch swing inside the heavy breeze, bending branches of the willow trees. Got friction making fire now, show the heavy spirits exactly how. Keep it fluid like a moving stream, living out a wide awake daydream. Moving through the nectar and the gold, something fresh within the very whole. Catch swing inside the heavy breeze, bending branches of the willow trees. Got friction making fire now, show the heavy spirits exactly how. Keep it fluid like a moving stream, living out a wide awake daydream.
The velvet edge of the evening pulls me close. You shift your weight like a secret no one knows. The floor is breathing beneath our heavy heels. I keep it locked away to check if this is real. Your silhouette is tracing lines along the air, a quiet motion that leads me to your snare. The pull is steady and the turning feels so tight. We merge the shadows with the pulse of golden light. No need for talking when your body speaks the play. Just let the gravity decide to have its way. Take the lead and let the motion sweep the room. I find the sanctuary inside the sonic bloom. The weight of balance on the arch of every beat. You are the cooling rain inside the summer heat. Keep it fluid while the cycle starts again. We are the spark that turns the copper into flame. A certain ripple in the way you move your hands. I follow patterns that the melody demands. The drums are stripping every worry from the mind, leaving the wreckage of the world so far behind. Your gaze is steady like a compass in the dark, igniting tinder from a microscopic spark. The bullet steady and the timing feels so tight. We merge the shadows with the pulse of golden light. No need for talking when your body speaks the play. Just let the gravity decide to have arch of every beat. You are the cool and rain inside the summer heat. Keep it fluid while the cycle starts again. You are the spark that turns the copper into flame. Take the heat and let the motion sweep the room. I'll find a sanctuary inside the sonic gloom. The weight is balanced on the arch of every beat. You are the cool and rain inside the summer heat.
The heavy pose moves beneath the floorboards, drawing lines through the velvet snow. You lean close where the gravity pulls, testing the weight of the words we never spoke. The foundation trembles under your leather soles, gold liquid swaying in a crystal frame. The low frequency tethers my soul to the room. No need for lanterns in this amber glow. We drift through the shadows of a quiet bloom, watching the tides of the melody flow. This anchor keeps us drifting in place, in the cradle of a deep magnetic hum. Slow motion circles around your face, where the muted colors have all become the only map that we need to trace. The only map that we need to trace. This gear frozen in the syrup of a baseline bend. We inhabit the space between the years, where the beginning meets a final end, and the silence is all that the spirit hears. Your silhouette carves a path through the haze, a steady motion in a liquid world, lost in the thick of its harmonic maze, with the secrets of the night unfurled, saving the warmth of the subterranean blaze. This anchor keeps us drifting in place, in the cradle of a deep magnetic hum. Slow motion circles around your face, while the mirrored colors have all become the only map that we need to trace. This anchor keeps us drifting in place, in the cradle of a deep magnetic hum. Slow motion circles around your face, while the muted colors have all become the only map that we need to trace. The only map that we need to trace. I move through the heavy air without a trace. The mirror reflects a look you can't erase. Step into the light where the shadows fall back. I build my own empire from the gray to the black. The weight of your words doesn't drag on my skin. I know where I stand and I know how to win. The ground beneath me stays steady and firm. I took all the lessons you forced me to learn. Don't reach for my hand like you know what I feel. The metal inside me is polished and steel. I polish the rough edges down to a shine, defining the borders that make up the line. You watch from the corner while I take the floor. I'm not the same person who knocked at your door. The pulse in the room starts to follow my lead. behind. Gold in my veins and fire in my lungs. I'm speaking of power that trips off our tongues. I'm holding the keys to a locks that you made, watching the ghosts of my past finally fade. Rising above at the ceiling you set, giving you something you'll never forget. Purely intentional, clearly defined, leaving the doubt and the wreckage behind. No more asking for permission to breathe, no more hiding what I keep in my sleeve. The atmosphere changes the moment I arrive. This is the clarity of staying alive. Unshakable focus and absolute grace, setting the standard and picking the pace. The noise in the background is starting to cease. I found the momentum and granted me peace. A deliberate motion in every design. The future is waiting and calling it mine. So keep your opinions and keep your advice. I've already paid every part of the price. The vision is sharp and the target is near. There isn't a second for hesitation or fear. Gold in my veins and fire in my lungs. I'm speaking of power that trips off our tongues. I'm holding the keys to the locks that you made, watching it ghosts of my past finally hate. Rising above every sin that you said, giving you something you'll never forget. Purely intentional, clearly defined, leaving the doubt and the wreckage behind.
The street lamps flicker in the humid air. I caught your motion by the velvet stare. Then I'm low and silver on your skin, tracing patterns where the night begins. You're moving like a secret I can't keep, a heavy silence while the city sleeps. Your fragrance lingers like a vintage song, the kind of feeling that I know so long. Ice is melting in a crystal glass, watching every second slowly pass. I see the question drifting in your gaze, lost inside a choreographed haze. No need to rush the way we bridge the gap. I'm falling straight in fine lanes. The frequency is pulling at my chest. Forget the talk and leave behind the rest. Give me that feeling from the golden days, wrapped in a glossy and refined place. The potent steady and the bass is deep. Promises that we intend to keep. Slide with the motion of a soulful spin. This is the moment that I'm sinking in. Everything polished to a perfect shine. Glad to acknowledge that you're finally mine. Chrome reflections on the dashboard light. We're navigating through the thick of night. No interruptions on the radio, just the direction that we choose to go. The way you lean against the leather seats makes every heavy shadow feel so sweet. I've got the vision of a future tense. It's making every bit of logic sense. Simple luxury within your touch. I never knew I'd crave it quite this much. A classic sequence with a brand new soul, taking her pieces and I'm making them whole. No need to lush the way we bridge the gap, falling straight into your gentle trap. The frequency is pulling at my chest. Forget the talk and leave behind the rest. Give me that feeling from the golden days, wrapped in a glossy and refined place. Pulse is steady and the bass is beat. Promises that we intend to keep. Slide with the moment of a soulful spin. This is the moment that I'm sinking in. Every ring polished to a perfect
acknowledge that you finally got me. That feeling from the golden days, wrapped in a glossy, undefined ways. Pulse is steady and the bass is beat. Promises that we intend to keep. Slide with the motion of a soulful spin. This is the moment that I'm sinking. Every pain polished to a perfect shine. Glad to acknowledge that you finally.
Heavy gravity pulling through the concrete floor. Heavy water sinking down beneath the door. Lower than the basement where the shadows stay. Lower than the light that tries to drift away. The pressure builds inside the hollow of the bone. The frequency is calling out a monochromatic tone. Solid state vibration moving through the dark. Wait for the ignition of a tiny frozen spark. Steady motion circle in the center of the room. Steady motion spinning like a fabric on a loom. Counting every second by the shaking of the glass. Counting every second as the heavy hours pass. Nothing in the air but the weight of the sound. Nothing in the air but the pulse beneath the ground. Keep it in a circle, keep it in a perfect line. Keep it in a circle until the stars align. I'm deep in the undercurrent. Deep in the undercurrent. Locked in the cycle, locked in the cycle. Let the weight descend, let the weight descend. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Deep in the undercurrent. Deep in the undercurrent. Locked in the cycle, locked in the cycle. Let the weight descend, let the weight descend. Hold the heavy frequency, hold the heavy frequency. Metal ticking fast against the velvet of the night. Metal ticking fast until the morning loses sight. Static in the speakers dripping slowly like a rain. Static in the speakers washing out the interstate. Everything is moving wild, everything is still. Everything is moving by the power of the will. Sink into the velvet, sink into the black. Sink in the undercurrent. Deep in the undercurrent. Locked in the cycle, locked in the cycle. Let the weight descend, let the weight descend. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Deep in the undercurrent. Deep in the undercurrent. Locked in the cycle, locked in the cycle. Let the weight descend, let the weight descend. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Hold the heavy frequency. Deep in the undercurrent. Deep in the undercurrent. Locked in the cycle, locked in the cycle. Let the weight descend, let the weight descend.
Stepping off the curb with the weight held light. Found a little motion in the middle of the night. Every single flicker on the glass looks gold. Breaking out the stories that we haven't told. Got that steady pulse beneath the leather soles. Losing all the focus on the grand controls. Moving like a shadow in a high-speed chase. Looking for the feeling that we can't replace. Feel the pull of the gravity bending. Catch a spark in the spiral and ambient. Heavy swing in the air when we hit the floor. Begging for a second and 1,000 more. Keep the heat on the edge of a wire. Fuel a rush with a liquid desire. Never stop until the sun starts breaking through. Giving everything I got inside to you.
Feet don't ever need a reason why. Scanning every corner of the velvet sky. No more waiting for a perfect sign. Just the intersection of your path and mine. Let the friction turn into a flame. Forget the numbers and the hollow names. Solid count is a memory now. We're taking over and we're showing them how.
Silver on the lining of the velvet coat. Keeping every secret at the next time roll. Shifting through the gears in a synchronized flow.
Taking it to places where the wild things go.
Muscle in the music and a heavy hand. Driving out the silence like we always planned. Turn the dial up till the speakers shake.
time to take.
Can you hear the clock ticking on the wall? Wait for the momentum just before the fall. Hold it in your lungs till you start to fly. Waving on the heavy-handed world goodbye. Feel the pull of the gravity bending. Catch a spark in the spiral unending. Every swing in the air when we hit the floor. Beckon for a second and 1,000 more. Keep the heat on the edge of a wire. Feel a rush with a liquid desire. Never stop until the sun starts breaking through. Giving everything they got inside of you. Bending, catch a spark in the spiral I'm in. Heavy swing in the air when we hit the floor. Begging for a second and 1,000 more. Keep the heat on the edge of a wire. Fuel rush with a liquid desire. Never stop until the sun starts breaking through. Giving everything I got inside of you.
The pressure plate is cracking underneath my weighted steps. Deep frequencies are pulling shadows from my hollow chest. I watch the mercury descending in the amber light. The heavy pull of gravity is all I feel tonight. The silence in the room is vibrating against the bone. I built a sanctuary out of jagged flint and stone. My pulse is ticking faster than the clock upon the wall. I'm waiting for the moment that the ceiling starts to fall. This distortion in the air is all I ever know. I'm sinking in the velvet where the bitter seeds were sown. The weight of every choice is pressing down upon my spine. I'm trying to distinguish what is yours and what is mine. This resonance is drowning out the words I meant to speak. The foundation is crumbling and the structure of is weak. I'm searching for a signal through the static and the haze. Locked inside the pattern of these complicated days. This distortion in the air is all I ever know. I'm sinking in the velvet where the bitter seeds were sown. The weight of every choice is pressing down upon my spine. I'm trying to distinguish what is yours and what is mine. This resonance is drowning out the words I meant to speak. The foundation is crumbling and the structure is weak. I'm searching for a signal through the static and the haze. Locked inside the pattern of the complicated day. The shutter flickers while I'm staring at the vacant screen, decoding all the visions of the places I have been. The low end vibrates through the marrow of my shivering frame. I'm calling out to spirits, but I cannot find a name. The sharp staccato rhythm cutting through the heavy mist. A physical manifestation of the things I miss. I'm burning through the fuel just to keep the engine cold. Trading in no silver for a promise made of gold. The floor starts to tremble with a synchronized intent. Every ounce of energy is prematurely spent. I feel the atmospheric pressure rising in my throat, while I'm trying just to keep the sinking ship afloat. The subterranean vibration reaches for my knees. I'm begging for a moment for the agitation to cease. This distortion in the air is all I ever know. I'm sinking in the velvet where the bitter seeds were sown. The weight of every choice is passing down upon my spine. I'm trying to distinguish what is yours or what is mine. This resonance is dropping out the words I meant to be. The foundation is crumbling and the structure is weak. I'm searching for a signal through the static in my haze. Locked inside the pattern of this complicated day. This distortion in the air is all I ever know. I'm sinking in the velvet where the bitter seeds were sown. The weight of every choice is pressing down upon my spine. I'm trying to distinguish what is yours and what is mine. This resonance is drowning out the words I meant to speak. The foundation is crumbling and the structure is weak. I'm searching for a signal through the static and the haze. Locked inside the pattern of these complicated days.
Liquid shadows pull against the velvet floor, tracing patterns that I haven't seen before. this hollow space. I'm sinking through the memory of your face. The silence weighs a heavy ton of gold. Stories that our skin has never told. Drown me in the thickness of the haze. Lost inside the architecture of your gaze. Pull the oxygen from every word I speak. Turning marble into something soft and weak. We are blurring at the edges of the night, extinguishing the residue of light. Cold ink bleeding through a paper vein, drinking up the nectar of the quiet rain. Your pulse is just a frequency I feel, tearing back the coating of the surreal. There is no clock to measure how we fade, just the dead of every motion we have made. The air is thick enough to hold our weight, suspended in a motionless state. Don't reach for rescue from the deep. Some secrets are too beautiful to keep. Drown me in the thickness of the haze. Lost inside the architecture of your gaze. Pull the oxygen from every word I speak. Turning marble into something soft and weak. We are blurring at the edges of the night, extinguishing the residue of light. Extinguishing the residue of light. Started drifting through the fiberglass ceiling, where the spectrum beats into a pale blue feeling. I tracked your movement across the digital haze before the signal dissolved in a million gray waves. My fingertips are humming with a current so strange, caught in the friction of a long distance range. A clock is ticking in a code I cannot read, while the oxygen waits for the silence to leave. We are shifting through the fractured light, tracing outlines in the middle of a hollow night. Gravity is leaning on a hollow frame, while we search for a face without a name. Lost in the velvet of a cold machine, living in the spaces that I never seen. Resonance is heavy and the sky is thin. This is where the phantom sounds begin. Shifting through the fractured light, chasing outlines in the middle of a hollow night. Gravity is leaning on a hollow frame, while we search for a face without a name. Lost in the velvet of a cold machine, living in the spaces that I've never seen. The resonance is heavy and the sky is thin. This is where the random sounds begin. Copper wires woven through the heavy air. I can feel a static crawling everywhere. And let the tide come in, let the synthetic and the soul be kissed. Filtered heartbeat in a chrome plated room, watching the artificial flowers bloom. Everything is layered in the silver dust, everything is liquid till the metals rust. Parallel horizons are beginning to blur, memory is just a vibrating slur. I reach for a hand but I touch the glass screen, the most vivid color that I have ever seen. There is no echo in this vast expanse, just the electric shadow of a final dance. The architecture of the sound is vast and wide, with nowhere left for the ghost to hide. We are shifting through the fractured light, that I've never seen. The resonance is heavy and the sky is thin. The resonance is heavy and the sky is thin. The resonance is heavy and the sky is thin.
The silence hangs heavy in the hallway, yeah. Tracing shadows on the velvet chair. I feel the pulse of the city floor, but I am drifting further from the door, submerged in a sea of weighted blue, waiting for a sign to pull me through. Your absence is a stone inside my chest. Ooh, yeah. A heavy anchor where I used to rest. Ooh, yeah. The clock on the wall has lost its gear. Ooh, yeah. Counting back through all the hollow years. I am breathing in the dust of us, turning gold into this jagged rust. Gravity is more than I can bear, falling through the cold and empty air. I am reaching for a hand I cannot find, leaving every ghost of you behind. Deep within the belly of the night, searching for a flicker of the light. This gravity is more than I can bear, falling through the cold and empty there. I am reaching for a hand I cannot find, leaving every ghost of you behind. Keep within the belly of the night, searching for a flicker of the light. The surface let the water drain. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Washing out the salt and every stain. Oh yeah. The pressure builds until the fever break. Counting every breath the spirit takes. I am more than just a memory. Set the current flowing back to me. The dawn is gray and stretching on the floor. I do not hear your footsteps anymore. Oh, the resonance is fading in the bone. Learning how to stand it all alone. The textures of the dark are turning thin. Letting all the quiet sunlight in. Gravity is more than I can bear. It's falling through the cold and empty air. I am reaching for a hand I cannot find, leaving every ghost of you behind. Deep within the belly of the night, searching for the flicker of the light. This gravity is more than I can bear, falling through the cold and empty air. I am reaching for a hand I cannot find, leaving every ghost of you behind. Deep within the belly of the
The weight of the silence is heavy on the floor. I see a shadow creeping underneath the door. A flicker in the corner where the candle died. There is no place left for a heart to hide. The ground begins to shift like the changing tide. I feel a pull of everything I kept inside. The clock is ticking louder than a steady drum, waiting for the moment that is bound to come. The air is getting thick and the heat begins to climb. We are running out of space and running out of time. The walls are closing in, but the ceiling starts to fly. Watch the colors bleed across the darkening sky. The pressure builds until the diamond starts to show. There is a fire underneath the frozen snow. Every single word is a spark against the flint. Look into the dark for a golden tint. This is the ascent of 1,000 broken parts, mending all the cracks in the center of our hearts. The heavy lift of a soul that found its way, turning all the charcoal into brightest day. The wave is crashing over every stone we lay. Fear is pressed to death, man, it's finally been paid. Can you hear the power moving through the bone, building up a kingdom on a shifting throne? Up a kingdom on a shifting throne. We stripped away the lace and the velvet skin to find a raw electric current deep within. The architecture trembles at the base of the spine, tracing out the map of a new design. No more looking back at the wreckage in the rear, a vision in the front, it's becoming crystal clear. Every breath we take is a mountain moved by the steady hand of a spirit proof. The air is getting big and the heat begins to climb. We are running out of space and running out of time. Doors are closing in, but the ceiling starts to fly. Watch the colors bleed across the darkening sky. The pressure builds until the diamond starts to show. There is a fire underneath the frozen snow. Every single word is a spark against the flint. Look into the dark for the golden tip. Of 1,000 broken parts, mending all the cracks in the center of our heart. The heavy lift of a soul that found its way, turning our charcoal into brightest day. The wave is crashing over every stone we lay. Fear is just a death that has finally been paid. Can you give a power moving through the bone, building up a kingdom on a shifting throne? This is the ascent of 1,000 broken parts, mending over cracks in the center of our hearts. Heavy lift of a soul that found its way, turning our charcoal into brightest day. The wave is crashing over every stone we lay. Fear is just a jet that is finally been paid. Can you hear the power moving through the bone?
Stop scrolling just to feel the static. My motion is a new pneumatic. The floor is buckling beneath the leather. We pull the heavy atmosphere together, yeah. Your pulse is jumping through the cotton shirt. Forget the friction and the dusty dirt. The low end is a fever in the bone, a kingly power on a velvet throne. Ignite the circuit, let the gravity bend. This is the message that the speaker sent. Elevate the vision to a higher plane. No more stalling in the pouring rain. We own the seconds and the ticking clock. The frequency is thick enough to touch. Too much is never really quite enough. The ceiling, let the pressure climb. We are the masters of the present kind. No hesitation in the way we glide, taking the universe for a ride. The spotlight is a predatory glare, but we are breathing in the golden air. Translate the logic into physical grace. Spin the contour of this crowded space. The drum is kicking like a living heart, tearing the silence and the dark apart. Step for step, imagine no breakbeat. The pavement melting from the sudden heat. The tension is a wire pull tight, cutting through the middle of the night, ready for the surge to overflow. Nowhere else, hold the spark to go. Ignite the circuit, let the gravity bend. This is the message that the speakers send. Elevate the vision to a higher plane. No more stalling in the pouring rain. We own the seconds and the ticking clock, until the heavy foundations rock. Maximum impact in the central zone. Every movement is a masterpiece. I come my reflection in the glass of the high rise, staring back at a silhouette I finally recognize. No more seeking permission to occupy this frame. I burned the old blueprints and forgot the previous name. My stride is measured by the weight of my own soul, taking back the fragments to make the vision whole. I used to wait for a signal just to move my feet. Now I dictate the pace of every pulse and every pulse. I am the gravity, shifting the tides, the master of the flame where the brilliance resides. Unbreakable foundation built on sovereign ground, wearing the silence like a heavy golden crown. I own the throne that I carved from the stone, walking this journey on a path of my own. Supreme in my essence, untouchable and deep. I am the promise that I finally intend to keep. They calculated my limits with a broken scale, expecting the structure to buckle and the spirit to fail. Pressure only polished the diamond in my chest. I put the doubts and the shadows to a permanent arrest. Calculating moves in a game where I set the stage, learning from the friction and the necessary waste. Luxuries of freedom the same, no without fear. The message in the mirror is becoming crystal clear. Elevation is eternal, and a view is wide. Nothing left to surrender, nothing left to hide. I found the frequency that resonates with truth, recovering a fire from the fever of my youth. I have the gravity, shifting the tide, the master of the plane where the brilliance resides. Unbreakable foundation built on sovereign ground, wearing a silence like a heavy golden crown. I own the throne that I carved from a stone, walking this journey on a path of my own. Supreme in my essence, untouchable and deep. I am the promise that I finally intend to keep. I am the gravity, shifting the tide, the master of the flame where the brilliance resides. Unbreakable foundation built on sovereign ground, bearing the silence like a heavy golden crown. I own the throne that I carved from the stone, walking this journey on a path of my own. Supreme in my essence, untouchable and deep. I am the promise that I finally intend to keep.
The
daylight fades behind the heavy velvet drapes. Your silhouette is tracing lines across the floor. No need for frantic pace or desperate escapes. We leave the noise outside the bedroom door. The silver light is spilling on the cotton sheets. The quiet calm is settled in the hollow air, far from the friction of the city streets. I find the sanctuary waiting there. The dials turn to catch the mental frequencies. I hum the vibrates through the wooden frame. We drift on waves of private leniencies, where every pulse is calling out your name. The ice is melting in the crystal glass, a slow reflection of the time we steal, watching the heavy shadows leaning past, touched by the gravity of what we feel. Slow down the spinning of the weary world. Let every motion find a place to rest. With every secret in the evening unfurled, I lay my heavy head up on your chest. The tide is coming in to wash away the grit, a seamless union in the indigo. This is the spark that we have finally lit, the only certainty we need to know. Your fingertips are brushing through the velvet dark. The friction generates a subtle glow, a gentle landing for a stray spark, moving in patterns that are deep and low. There is no clock to dictate how we breathe, no sudden moment to disrupt the flow. We let the tangled web of tension leave, and let the warmth of understanding grow. The fragrance of the jasmine on the breeze mingles with the musk of skin and salt. We find our balance with a natural ease, bringing the frantic motion to a halt. The ceiling fan is spinning lazy rings above the altar of this quiet space, while every breath and every gesture brings a deeper softness to your resting face. The embers glow beneath the cooling ash. The honey moments linger on the tongue. Gone is the lightning and the sudden crash. The sweetest melodies remain unsung. Slow down, opening up the weary world. Let every motion find a place to rest. With every secret in the evening unfurled, I lay my heavy head upon your chest. The tide is coming in to wash away the grit, a seamless union in the indigo. This is the spark that we are finding it, the only certainty we need to know. Slow down the spinning of the weary world. Let every motion find a place to rest. With every secret in the evening unfurled, I lay my heavy head upon your chest. The tide is coming in to wash away the grit, a seamless union in the indigo. This is the spark that we are finding it, the only certainty we need to know.
The needle finds a canyon in the black. A crackle breeding shadows on a wall. I settle in the velvet of the track to watch the evening flicker and then fall. The window frame is holding back the street, while tea leaves settle slowly in the cup. The hum of amber light feels so complete. I turn a silver dial and wind it up.
Golden circles spinning on the deck, steady as the pulse inside my wrist. Every tiny scratch and every speck is something that the digital has missed. It's a heavy fabric for the mind, woven in the static and the haze, loving all the sharp edges behind in the honey of these slower days. The bookshelf leans against the fading sun. Dust motes dancing in a single beam. The restless race of ours is finally done. We're floating on a wide and silent stream. No need for frantic clocks or flashing glass. Just the weight of sound against the chest. I watch the weary clouds begin to pass, and let the weary motor through the rest. It is thick like ink upon the page. It is soft like wool against the skin. A gentle bird inside a wooden cage, waiting for the music to begin. Golden circles spinning on the deck, steady as the pulse inside my wrist. Every tiny scratch and every speck is something that the digital has missed. It's an heavy fabric for the mind, woven in the static and the haze, leaving all the sharp edges behind in the honey of these slower days. Golden circles spinning on the deck, steady as the pulse inside my wrist. Every tiny scratch and every speck is something that the digital has missed. It's a heavy fabric for the mind, woven in the static and the haze, leaving all the sharp edges behind in the honey of these slower days.